I'm going to introduce John. Now, John Abraham is a fundamental shaper of the whole experience economy. And let's read a few notes I wrote when I spoke to John in the briefing. So he will be moderating our 4 panels. He's got over 20 years of experience in global experience, helping organizations elevate both their customer and their employee experience. He worked very closely with a guy called Fred Reichelt. I'm sure we're going to hear about him, who was the founder of the NPS concept, Net Promoter Score, and went on then to develop the Medallia Institute, where when he was working at Medallia, working around education, analytics, and customer advocacy. So John will set the stage for our panels, the first one in just one moment, and we will be looking at elevating public service by meeting rising expectations, personalization, integration, and continuous feedback. So can you please big hand for John, and John, I'll let you introduce your panelists when you come on stage.
Thanks, Rob. I don't think I need that, actually. Yep. Good morning, everybody. Well, I think I got the best job today because when I joined Medallia, I don't work at Medallia anymore, but I still have so many friends in the company. I was there for 11 years. And when I joined, the CEO used to always say to me, John, what we do is technical, but the people that are doing CX and EX in their business, they need practical ideas. And I have always found that the practical ideas come from people like you, people that are actually trying to lead inside your organizations. And I'm very excited to have with us today 2 panelists. It's interesting to me that we're starting with the government sector. For me, this is a big deal, actually, because in the US, it took a long time. I'm American. It took us a long time to figure out we needed satisfaction measurement, quality measurement for public service as well. But the kingdom has figured that out. There are core elements of 2030 and the ADAA that require public entities to measure satisfaction. But the 2 people we have with us today are actually doing things that, from what I understand, go way beyond what is required. And that's because I think you want your organizations to be doing something special for people in the kingdom. So we have with us today Hatim Bawazir from Head of Visitor Experience Events and Festivals at the Ministry of Culture. And we have Rayan Sammam, Customer Excellence Director at HRDF, the Human Resources Development Fund. So welcome to both of you today, and thank you for joining us. You know, Rayan, let me start with you, and tell us a little bit about what you focus on. When you think of customer experience at HRDF, what is the focus these days?
Okay. Thank you, John, for the introduction, and I would like to thank the organizer and also Jack for all the job New Metrics did to organize this event. So at HRDF, our main focus is how can we make every single interaction with our beneficiaries, either digital or human, seamless, easy, and less suffering and meaningful. It's very important that we understand exactly our customers' personas and needs and mandates, and design the service and the experience based on their needs. So this is one of the important things, that how can we really listen to them, understand them, and redesign the journey, fulfill their needs in whatever goals that they want to achieve.
And you and I spoke before the event, and you mentioned that there's a lot of work happening in the digital arena. How do you think about digital as an element of the experience?
Exactly. So this is very important, that digital is not just about automation. It is more than that. It is accessibility with empathy. So how can you really give access, make it easy to the customer, to the beneficiary, to get access to the service that they want to achieve or they need with a less suffering. So, always they say that just automate, make it automation. It is not just about that. It is about how can you make sometimes improve in the process, improve in the tools, in the channels, to make it easy access more than just digitally.
So this idea of ease is what sits behind a lot of digital transformation projects. I don't know if how many of you in the audience have some kind of digital transformation initiative in your organization? Just give me an idea, raise your hand. A few? Yeah, of course, this has been going on for a long time, and I think now a lot of companies are understanding it's about making it easy, but it's not always just about making it easy. So let's come back to that in a little bit and think about when does digital make it easier, or when do you need human interaction? Hatim, what about you? So how do you think about measuring satisfaction for the events that you run at the ministry?
Thank you, John.
Can we make sure his mic is on?
Hello? It's open.
Check that one and make sure it's on, yeah. Is the green light on?
Yeah, it is. It is on, okay.
Now it's on?
Clear.
Very good.
Assalamu alaikum jami'an. Good morning, everyone. So thank you, John, for the question. For us, it might, and probably for many, visitor experience or customer experience implementation, the whole value chain in an event sector. I'm very reluctant that we have built something out of the box. During the strategy development, we did a lot of benchmark globally, and there weren't cases and that we can build our go-to approach. So we started defining what do we want to do. So what is the purpose? Where do we want to go? What's our North Star in measuring satisfaction in the event sector? And we had to do a very clear differentiation between customer experience, which is the notion that it's been there for decades, and then visitor experience. Of course, now you would hear guest experience, patient experience, and so forth. So one clear distinction is customer, patient, and guest. The business owns two things: owns the environment or the space, and owns time. It's his locations, website, service, what have you. And time, meaning time that the business is responsible and can design the closing loops, answering customers. If you have a complaint, you come back in 24 hours, 48 hours, and so forth. In events, you don't have that luxury. First, we don't own the space because events rotate around the kingdom, and every location has its own challenge. So you redesign the wheel all over again.
So every event is its own unique experience.
Exactly, unless you own the asset. So that's something else. And usually theater and concerts are done in assets. Seats are fixed, parking is fixed. You design the journey and you start working from there. Our events, our cultural calendar is over 100 events a year. So mind you, it cascades all around the kingdom. And time, and this is very important because it allowed us to work and have a mindset on how we manage time. The time is the time when the visitor comes into the event and leave. So you have only 2 to 3 hours to fix things and to capture insights and to close the loops. And that was the driving force of putting a strategy that we should be agile and we should work in a fast response.
Now, one of the things you mentioned when we chatted was, because I asked you, so how is the ministry involved? Who is running the event? So you've got, not only are the events different every time, but you're not actually running the event.
No. We execute through third-party vendors. And third-party vendors in events, they also outsource additional vendors to execute. So you have production, content, sound and light, and what have you. So basically, in every event, you're working with a consortium of executors. And our goal is to have that satisfaction matrices very high. We want high NPS, high CSAT, and so forth. So we try to bring the external vendors and partners on board from starting to understand how we design journeys for events. What are the touch points? Where do we collect data? How do we fix them?
So do these vendors actually have access to the Medallia system?
Yeah, so one key interaction with the event, and this is, I think, it was kind of a breakthrough for us because it allowed us to fix issues and complaints and pain points in real time. So we placed QR codes all around the event, and they're very specific location-based. So at the entrance, at the parking, at the restrooms, at the prayer. And today, visitors are all our visitors. We've been doing this for the past 4.5 years. So visitors in cultural events are already aware that these QR codes are there, and when they're not, they're going to ask, where's the QR code? Why it's not here? So this, for us, is the internal pulse of the event to identify issues. These QR codes are not give us feedback, your opinion. No, it triggers angry visitors. It triggers pain points. So it asks them, did anything bother you? Let us know. That QR code comes on the system in a ticket format to the team in the office. And then there is, for every type of issue, on the ground, the event organizer receives that ticket automatically. So for example, one of the common issues we have is the prayer room issue, whether it's not clean, it's hot, needs clean, whatever it is. So we receive that ticket, and then we prioritize these tickets based on urgency. If it's a medical issue, then it goes up. If it's a health issue with the F&B, then it goes up, and so forth. Prayer room and restroom cannot wait. So we receive the ticket, it goes there, and we follow up with the vendor, and it's fixed within the hour.
Within an hour?
Within an hour.
So you're changing the experience before they leave?
We try, if that person who gave us the ticket, of course, we try to close the loop if we have his data and tell him, look, thank you very much, we closed the issue. But we try to have the following visitors also, not experience it again.
Right, absolutely.
And that helped us to be agile, to utilize technology in generating insights and fix in real time.
Great. So you have a couple of interesting things here. You've customized the way the environment is working so that third parties who are creating and delivering the experience have access to what they need, and to actually make it work in the unique environment of an event. So this idea, all of you do this if you've used a platform like Medallia. You probably have to think through this. How do we use it in our type of business? Because every business is slightly different. So let me come back to you, Rayan, and can you tell us a little bit about how are you thinking about customizing the way the listening platform is set up for your users?
Okay. So we use Medallia. Medallia is one of the great tools, honestly speaking, in capturing the voice of customers in all the touch points. So recently we have impacted all the journeys in HRDF. We have more than 21 journeys.
What does it mean, 21 journeys? What are those journeys like? What drives the number 21?
Great. So we have 21 products. Each product is a full journey end to end.
Okay.
So we mapped all the touch points on all the 21 journeys. And also I would like to thank Neometric. They have helped us on many workshops in journey mapping design to different stakeholders, because we believe that it is very important that journey mapping concept is a tool and a skill that everyone works in the organization need to gain. They need to understand what is journey mapping and what are the elements for the journeys and how can we understand the journey and how can we improve the journeys. So it's very important that we always engage different departments, frontliner departments, non-frontliners, to always understand the full cycle, all the touch points, to have the full picture, not just having a certain piece of the journey.
Yep.
It's important that they know what their role in this certain piece, but it's also important that they see the full picture of all the journeys. So we have the 21 journeys, and this is product-based journeys. We also have something called macro journeys, which is segment-based, persona-based. So we have mainly students, we have job seekers, and we have employees. Those are our three main beneficiaries. So we design the journeys on lifetime journey, macro level, to make sure that all the products fill into that macro journeys.
So that one person might experience HRDF through different products at different points in their life cycle, in their life.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So how we did that is, first, we need to know what are their pains and gains. So how can we get the pains? How can we know exactly what are the pain points that they are suffering throughout different journeys?
Yeah.
So definitely Medallia gave us a great access to data. So we exactly know in every single touch point what are the pains there, and also the gains as well. And we build the journey from there. This was the first step. And then secondly is we redesigned all the current state, the as-is journeys, with the different stakeholders inside the organization. So we have a committee with IT, with product owners, with finance, with different stakeholders, and we map all the journeys, the as-is journeys, and we put all the pain points from the voice of customer and also from the voice of the staff as well, the employees. Because our voice of staff and voice of employee is as powerful as our customers. So it's very important that we engage our frontliners because they know stuff management does not know. So we have these workshops to map all the journeys, the 21 journeys. And then the third step was we also interviewed our customers. So it is not just enough to just say that we have the data, we have the voice of customer through Medallia. It is enough. You can just design the future state. It is very important that you engage your customer in designing the future of the journey that you want to build with them.
So you brought actual customers in to talk about their experience, their journey,
Exactly.
and tell you about it.
Exactly.
Like, kind of like focus groups.
Exactly. So we had more than 21 focus groups. We get more than 200 customers or beneficiaries from different products. So we make sure that we have enough number of customers, and they are part of the design. So they cook with us. So they are with us in the kitchen, and they cook exactly what they want to be, what they want to have as the future state journeys.
So if we come back to the digital piece, for example, like what did you hear from customers about digital?
So it is very interesting that sometimes we feel that digital is solving everything. And this is mainly from our point of view as leaders or as people who provide services. But sometimes you listen the opposite from your customers. You think that if you make it fully automated, this is exactly what our customers needs. But when you really engage your customers and you listen to them, everything changed, because in some journeys we thought to have fully automated.
Yep.
Okay, and then when we engage our customers, we figure out that no, there are a couple of steps they need to have the human interactions. It's very important to them that they need to have a support. They need to have a reinforcement. So we changed the designs to make the human touches throughout different journeys. They don't want it fully automated. So this is something very important. It is not what we want. It is what our customer, what our beneficiary really needs and wants. And to ensure that we are covering all the personas who are tech savvy, who are not tech savvy, to make sure that we cover all the needs and fulfill all their needs in designing the future state of the journeys.
So doing the journey mapping helped you tell the difference between things that you just needed to automate and make easy versus things where you really wanted to inject personal touch, human touch.
Exactly.
Yeah, that sounds great. So what was your biggest takeaway from doing journey mapping?
Yeah. So data is powerful, but this is not the full story. It is very important always to listen and interact with your customers, to engage them in every single steps when you are going to redesign new service or new product. It is very important to put yourself in their shoes and to put them in our shoes as well.
Yeah.
So we complete each other and we design something that fulfill their needs.
Great, great. Hatim, let me come back to you. We're talking about knowing when to inject human interaction. How do you think about the human interactions at these events? I mean, these are not your employees, but a lot of times people are interacting with people, staff members on the ground. How important is that? How do you think about measuring that?
In events, the human interaction or the dialogue with a organizer, it's the key factor for a higher NPS. It's a key factor for advocacy and loyalty.
Yep.
And we found this out through the surveys throughout the years. Been doing insight, collecting data for 4 years, and so there are the fundamentals, the issues that happen, but at the end of the day, the human interactions and the conversation that has with the organizers, it's the thing that touches the heart. This is the you can actually change perception and change mood of visitors just by being there as a representative.
Yeah. So last question, how do you make that connection happen when you have third parties running the events? What do you do to actually get the right kind of human touch?
Yeah, so we did an initiative in 23. We designed a training curriculum for frontliners. And we had bits and pieces coming from a lot of famous or good entities with frontliners. One of them was Disney, for example. So we created this curriculum and we trained 450 organizers from around the kingdom. We outsourced them and we had their CVs, and we conducted the trainings, and then after that training they would go and execute an event, and we would evaluate their delivery, and we'd correlate that with the result of the surveys of satisfaction and NPS from that event. And
what'd you see?
We found at least a 30% increase in that aspect, the human, you get to see a lot of complaints about organizers, people, and so forth. So the whole core of this content was about how to understand visitors. What are type of visitors? Where's the empathy comes in? How do you speak to a child versus a mother versus an elder? Not only that, we took it a bit further and we taught the frontliners to understand body language of the visitor coming in from the parking. You would know who's angry, who's not, who's frustrated, and their goal is to change that mindset and come and allow them to come in with a positive vibe or energy. That helped a lot in improving the experience inside the events.
Great. Well, thank you both for getting us started today with the panels. We have 4 panels happening today with people from different sectors. I think we're going to hear some of these themes come back as we work through the day, but you'll hear about things like the customer journey or the employee journey in different contexts, and hopefully all of us will give you great examples to take home with you. Thank you very much, and big hand for our panel.
Thank you very much.
John, thanks so much.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you guys for your